G'day guys, Mark here. Not in my normal uniform and not with a normal backdrop. This is just a video just after work. And I'm just going to address in a short fashion the new press release, or the press release that came out from the WA Premier stating some new gun laws, or some new gun bans and some gun buybacks. This is all scheduled, something that's supposedly going to happen in the middle of the year. And I suppose there's a little bit of context in a couple of things. One is I don't do the political side of things very much through the fact that I try and keep the channel neat and tidy and not going down that road. We try and stay to the genre and the agenda that we're on, in the way of showing the best side of the long-range shooting sport and a husband and wife team working together and all the positive side of things, and try not to get tangled in the other side of it. I suppose the other quick bit of logic to go with that is that where some of the people out there doing that with the firearms. So to go banging the drums and push the buttons on the political side of things and be doing the real out in the field side of things, we are compromising ourselves in one place or another in doing that side of things. So largely I've tried to steer clear of it for those reasons. So that's our side of things, and while I'll only just touch on it a little bit, I'll put this video on because I know people want to know a little bit more about what's happening, but I'm not going to go too far into it, nor am I going to do the normal response to comments and things below. Keep it neat and tidy, and it'll stay there. Get out of shape, and I'll remove it. I'll monitor it, do the right thing, but I'm not going to reply as I normally would. There's a little bit of context to what we're up to in the state, or what's actually happening. We have a Labor government, which is the leftist side of Australian government. We have that are, doing their thing. They've been through all sorts of bits and pieces that you'd have known happened with COVID over here. Our Premier in our state had probably the easiest job, big isolated state, locked us down for a long time. The majority of West Australians praised him for that. Little bit the nature of the community we live in, or the state we live in, doesn't mean that the likes of me and Sam are particularly on the side of that sort of thing at all. But we also have a very left-leaning media, news media, the likes of our national media, the likes of our national channel, the likes of our, in the way of the national news and the ABC, the likes of our newspapers. Very left-leaning, very much show one side of the story. And of late, we've found that the new police minister is decided to champion taking away gun rights from people as his way of doing things. This is very much about political grandstanding. This is very much what's happening here. A little bit of distraction. Don't look at the drug issues. Don't look at the crime issues and things like that we've got going on, as most of the Western world does. We are a state that has a lot of mining money. And there is consequently a lot of those other issues that come with it in our cities and bits and pieces. So the likes of crime, the likes of drugs, all that sort of stuff is very much happening, but very much not spoken about to the largest degree. And this is a little bit down that road. Distraction, go to a different way, but then it's like the rest of the world also. New Zealand, Canada, some parts of America, where more and more of the left side of the world, which is very much encouraged by propaganda from Hollywood and all that side of things, that is very much pushing down the road of guns are bad and take them away, and we can all surmise as to what the real agenda is there. But largely the biggest things, as generally, politicians aren't the smartest lot. The likes of the people we're talking to, they're not generally going with full-blown malicious intent. It's much more about what makes them, in their mind at least, and to their people that follow them, seem like they're doing a good thing without having to do too much of the hard work. Very easy to pick on the law-abiding gun owners and make them villains and take that stuff away to look like they're doing something, while you don't need to look at what's really going on. So that's a little bit of my opinion on the situation. A fair bit of fact attached to all that sort of stuff, of course. But I suppose where I'll leave it to my thoughts of where we're at with how much this is going to affect us, we're not certain. It probably will affect us to some degree or another. We largely don't own firearms on personal licenses. We have a a gunsmith's license, which means we have a different means of owning it. It's a business side of things. It's a different equation. We won't get too much into it, but largely we don't own firearms. We own parts of firearms and we assemble and put them together, and that's what you see us use on the channel. And that's all done completely legally. As to how much that affects us in the bans that are potentially coming, I don't know. Hopefully they start to turn this around and make a bit of sense out of it. There's a lot of poor rationale in the process they're going through. But my real feelings would be for the people who don't have any rocks to hide behind. There's no other way. They have personally, legally owning their firearms, and their rights are being stripped while doing nothing wrong. That is a big concern. It is something that bothers us as well. And I suppose my only thoughts beyond what is already happening is to some degree or another, well, hopefully there's some smart people that come in and maybe the plan of attack that we've been going at and the gun community going at and the freedom community, whatever you want to call it, people about personal rights and things like that, can sit back and look at maybe there's a different angle, there's a different approach to go through to get to the other side. And largely I'd always go with the same thing. If the more we can put our best foot forward, not our angry foot, not our victim foot, but our best foot forward as to people that really care about our community, care about our country, care about our neighbours, our family, our friends, care about making a better world for all of us. Put that side of it forward as our firearms community, then we have some more weight to it. The more people we can bring into that side of things, and that's the same thing. Bring people into your clubs, bring more people in it, take the fear out, take the Hollywood and the media fear out of firearms so you get more people on our side. That's the argument we're really dealing with. If you get where the majority of communities haven't got a problem with guns, then these politicians who are grandstanding, who are then taking away from people, from the good guys, that's not going to win from. They'll stop doing it. Anyway, that's lots of other political thoughts that I've got in myself, and maybe at some stage or other I'll turn that into where I share more of that side of things. Right at the moment, on this channel at least, I want to stay with doing what we're doing. This is my update. Yes, it might affect us. Hopefully, we'll see. We don't know what's coming in the future. There's some dust to settle for sure, and hopefully there's a good fight to be fought, and maybe bring it back for everyone. But listen, that's the update on the just now press release from Mark McGowan and our police minister that have brought in some new rules. Yes, it has happened. We don't know how bad it is. We'll have to wait and see. And I suppose we wish us the best, and we wish you guys the best too. Anyway guys, thanks for checking in, and we'll catch you next time.